You are listening to the Rode PodMic. Yes, this is the Rode PodMic. It is a $100 mic. It has no right to sound this good. If you choose to own this mic, it will be one of the smallest professional microphones you have ever had because it's actually pretty small, pretty compact. However, it will almost certainly not be the lightest weight microphone you have. It's pretty chunky. It's a chunky boy, very dense. The sound is very big. I can't get over how well it sounds. Now, granted, this is running through my suite of sweeteners in the form of plugins, and that's doing a lot of work. But honestly, you don't need a lot of fancy plugins to make this work for you. In fact, we can listen to it without any EQ at all. Would you like to hear that? Okay, here it comes without any EQ. It still has compression. I'm still doing some things for noise suppression because I've got a lot of noisy things going on in my room, some echo suppression. So I'm using those things. But those are things that I use with every mic all the time whenever I record in here. So let's hear how this sounds without any equalization. Okay, here we are without any equalization. All of my other settings are exactly the same as the last track. I've just turned off any equalization, so you are hearing the mic exactly the way it sounds raw if the room were a little bit better than what it is. So once again, you're hearing compression, you are hearing noise reduction, and you're hearing echo remover. So those are the things that you're hearing. And we're back to my normal witch's brew of sweetener. What do you think? I think it's a pretty great mic. I think for $100, you have solved your mic problems if you are just getting into podcasting. And I know there are a lot of recommendations out there, and those recommendations are good. People who are recommending those other microphones are correct. I've recommended other microphones. I was correct. But I would say in the modern era, if you have and or are willing to purchase a some type of preamp, then I suggest going with XLR and purchasing this microphone for $100. This microphone is one of the best arguments for why you want to get XLR as opposed to USB. USB mics are fine. I recommend USB mics all the time. But you've got to get a pretty expensive USB microphone to equal the quality of a cheap XLR. So you only need to purchase the preamp once, and you can get some really good ones for between $120 and $200. I like the Motu M2 a lot. A lot of people recommend the Scarlett i2, I think it's called, Scarlett Duo. So those are fairly inexpensive, and they have very high quality preamps. I think that you would like. There are other preamps in that range that I've tried as well. I like those too, but those are ones that I recommend. I recommend them pretty highly. And then you can just add mic. You know, it's kind of like decoupling an iMac into a separate monitor and a separate computer. You know, you buy the computer and you can add any monitor you want, or you can buy the monitor and you can add any computer you want. And there's a good chance that your monitor is going to outlast your computer anyway. You don't have to keep buying them again and again. So I guess in this analogy, the preamp would be a little bit like the monitor. That's something that you keep around for a long time, and then you can plug up any computer into it. And so I just suggest you go ahead and get into that ecosystem, rip the Band-Aid off, get a preamp. You don't have to get a great one. Get an inexpensive preamp, and then have your pick of great low-cost microphones. Now, if you want a USB mic, the whole separate preamp thing is just too much for you. You've got a MacBook Air or something in that class. You just want to carry it around, have a mic on the go. Even though it's a little bit heavy, I'd recommend another Rode, the Rode into USB Mini. That's a really good USB microphone. And there are others that I would recommend too, but I would start my recommendation there since I'm recommending Rode. I really like what I've seen from Rode so far. And it feels very much like when it comes to Rode, you just can't go wrong. There aren't any bad Rode mics out there. There's some that you might prefer more than others, but you're not going to make a mistake if you buy a Rode. If you just close your eyes and spin the needle and just get whatever Rode you can afford, it's going to be a good mic. You're going to be happy with it. And yeah, in a very short period of time, I've become very happy with this microphone. My SM7B is my mic stand number one. I've got 3 mic stands hanging off my desk. Mic stand number 2 is my Blue Ember. That's an $85 mic, very inexpensive XLR mic. It's really good. I think this pod mic has taken over as mic stand number 2 for me. It's that good. I don't need to use it for a long time to know that I like it. And, they're easy to come by these days. On sale, you might get them for less than $100. It's hard to beat this mic if you're looking at XLR microphones. I mean, there are more expensive microphones. And trust me, there are more expensive microphones that I want to buy, and I will save up and buy them. I would love to have an Aston Origin. Even if I didn't use it all the time, I would love to have an Aston Origin. I really want one of those, and maybe an Aston Spirit while we're at it. Those are more expensive microphones, $300, $400 microphones. Will I have them eventually? Yes, I will. I will have them. But for now, I'm very, very happy experimenting with inexpensive microphones. I was kind of going between this one and the AT 2020. I want that one too. It's a classic. It's a $100 mic. The AT 2040 is out there. I think I'd rather have the 2020 over the 2040. AT 2050, that's more like $150, I think. I mean, it goes up. But Audio-Technica, another company that makes really great mics, even really great USB mics. You can pretty much trust the low end and as it goes up from Audio-Technica. And I don't necessarily recommend the low end of a lot of companies. A lot of companies, you you get what you pay for. But with these companies, Audio-Technica, Rode, you get a little bit more than what you pay for. Blue is a little bit hit or miss. Blue's expensive stuff is all really good. It's just good. So if you're paying a lot of money for a Blue, you're getting a great product. Hit or miss at the low end. Blue Ember, like I said, is $85. Good mic. On the USB side, I would skip the Yeti, but I would get the Yeti Nano, the Yeti Nano. I like that one more than the full-size Yeti. And then you can get more expensive full-size Yetis, and I'm sure they're fine, but the Yeti Nano, that's another surprisingly good microphone in the $85 price range. So if you are used to Blue and you just like them, you like the sound of them, you like the way they're built, I can tell you, as far as weight goes, the Blue Yeti feels like a feather compared to this mic. So if you were going to use one of these mics held in your hand, get the Yeti. That one's the Yeti Nano. That one's very, very light. And just comparing like for like, the Yeti Nano versus the NT Mini, the NT Mini is like holding a little brick. So if you're gonna use these mics handheld, and I kind of recommend you do, I might talk about that another time. The Yeti's fine. that's a great mic. But if you're ready to step it up a little bit, get something like a Mochu M2. That's about $199. That's as good as you need to get, honestly. And you can go way up from there. Moto M2 or maybe a Scarlett Solo even. I had a Scarlett Solo. It had some issues that I didn't much care for. Your mileage might vary. The Scarlett Duet might be better though. The Duet Duo. I'm not sure what it's called now, but that one is praised highly. Spend about $150 to $200 on an interface, and it's going to be pretty good, more than good enough. Go that route. Get yourself an assortment of $100 microphones, and let this be your first one. The Rode. What's the name of this one? The Rode PodMic came out in 2019, and honestly, even today, it probably still has the crown for the best cheap mic you can buy. There's nothing cheap about this mic. Its build quality is every bit equal to $300 microphones and up. It's got an outstanding build quality. So yeah, if you're going to get one mic that you haven't tried before, but you're putting together your podcast, or you're putting together a band and you need to make a demo, or, you just need a mic and you can't fool around with a bad mic, you're going to make one choice. You're not going to be able to return it. Whatever your issue, and you don't want to spend more than $100, Rode PodMic, you will not be disappointed. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.